Let me take over here. So this one is packaging for office supplies, and the way it's designed, it has this kind of retro um, candy style packaging, and I think it works really well. I mean, it's all consistent. I love the typography and also the photography. It looks like it's been misprinted slightly. I like the way the type here goes over the star as if it was done incorrectly, but it's indeed done on purpose. I love this packaging for a marker. It's really, really good portfolio piece. This next one is identity and posters for a kind of colorful company, and it looks like the whole identity plays around all these oversaturated images, and it complements with all the colors. I think it's very eye-catching, and it really works. Again, another excellent page in the portfolio. This packaging looks really good. It's all consistent across all the elements, and it has this slightly retro feel, but at the same time, it has a sense of modernity as well. I like the fact that it's mostly like white with some rich yellows and a hint of red. This all gives it a very tasteful and appetizing look to it. What do you think, Stephen?
Well, definitely something that looks interesting about this. It looks like it's got something to do with chili. It looks like just with the fact of using red and using very strong sort of fonts and typography, it also gives that sort of that strong sense of either using chili or jalapenos or chili peppers or something like that that looks quite sort of warm and inviting. I think it's also the sort of one too that it does actually apply really well to the whole series of brands, and I think it will just continue to work very well. I think it'll work very well on the website. They actually say that red actually attracts the senses, so I think they've definitely got some very interesting packaging styles there. And what are your thoughts here on this one, Ivan? Do you think the colors work well?
Yeah, so this is the second portfolio for Robert Hochberg, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And this is his logo. So, to be honest, I don't really like this logo. It's a little bit over
Hmm.
designed, and I think for a designer, this is not good enough. He needs to work more on his identity, or just simply not have an identity at all. It's not necessary really, but I think he should work on it, and I'm sure he can come up with something. And if you look at the
Hmm.
other logos he designed, for example, this one, uh, the main problem is too many elements. I assume, for example, I think that the choice of font is okay. It looks kind of tribal and African, but it's just with all these other elements together, it's just too much. Um,
Hmm.
Also,
I think
I
it
don't
definitely could be simplified to. I think there's a lot of elements that I think the map of Africa could be in the frame a little bit more. I think it's trying to jump out of the frame a little bit on these elements. I'll just show you where sort of around. this area here, it probably doesn't need to jump out. I mean, if you're going to make it jump out, really make it jump out to a big extent. And I also think there needs to be a bigger contrast of colors, because there's a lot of colors which work very well against each other. Like, I think it probably might look very, very interesting if the color here, instead of being grey, was more of a color like a dark green, and just turning that into a two-color job could make it a little bit more simple as well. And then also as well, you've got capitals here, and then you've got lowercase here. I think to be consistent, you'd sort of want to have it all as one element. I would continue actually using the exact same font the entire way around. Also as well, I think there's a couple of other sort of elements, in the sense that they sort of use the star, but there's no really reason for using the star element, and to use two sort of star elements. Also, I think in terms of the maybe the way that it sort of applies, it could actually be that little tiny little country which is marked in green, I think might actually get a little bit lost once it starts getting a bit small, and it's facts to people and stuff like that. I think it might actually get a little bit lost. So I think it just needs to beef it up a little bit in terms of boldness. What are you thinking about this very large buffalo?
It's strange a little bit, I would say. Well, I mean, what I like about it is it's not showing the actual animals, photography or illustration. It's just silhouettes, which is a good idea for a logo. And I sort of see a hierarchy here in terms of height. So you kind of see a smaller one and going up and down. I really don't understand this large buffalo in the background. It looks like
it's either showing that buffaloes are huge, or it's sort of showing that there's something. I think there's something
negative.
Kind of. Yeah, I think if the picture in the background was a sun, or was a picture of, something that we're sort of used to seeing as an absolutely enormous object, then I think that's fine. But as a buffalo, it's you sort of know that it's around about the same size as, maybe like a rhino or something. So it just seems a little bit out of proportion. I think it's an interesting concept with the monkey at the back that's just sitting down and squatting down. I've also noticed there's a sort of a line that's going across, and everything's above the line except for the bear. And I think that was a bit of an unusual element. I think if you're going to make everything above the line, I'd keep everything above the line. And also, I think in terms of just a colour in the background, I think instead of using white, I think it's probably something that it probably needs a bit of sort of colour to probably increase the contrast a little bit, and probably gradients as well in the background. Also as well, I think I'd make it as simple as possible, especially when using a logo. Gradients can be a bit tricky on logos, and especially gradients with colours like browns and sort of oranges. They can come out very differently when you print them. So that brown in the background can come out in slight green on certain printers, and it can come out sort of yellows on other printers. It's got a nice friendly idea, this one for merry shopping, turning a shopping cart into a sleigh. I think it's quite a clever idea. It's good they've actually got the logo down the bottom. They've got a lot of the design elements in there. It's simple and it's clean. It's not being too complex. I think it's quite an interesting concept. I'd like to see a couple of more in that campaign. I'd like to see, maybe a a shopping basket with a little sled on it, or maybe a shopping aisle or something like that with a place where you can put your sleighs or something like that. So I think it actually could actually have another two in that campaign, which could sort of wrap it up.
I just put it on full screen so people can see the details. Going back on what's going on, I can't see anything now.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay, can you hear me? I hope so. So this second idea from Pramod Kumar shows a deck of cards on a back seat of a car. And basically, it's a very simple idea and very strong. It just says this car is so solid in terms of build that the suspension will protect this stack of cards. So basically, it's a very visual, very simple idea that's easy to understand. The photography is pretty good and the layout is nice. Overall, well done. Third idea, the copy reads incomplete without a companion, announcing the companion offer. And basically, what you see here is on the first ad, you have a clock without with only one hand, the other one is missing. It's a simple idea, nothing outstanding, but it does deliver the message. I mean, everyone would get this, and it's cleanly executed. The only problem I have is that objects do not have any relation to the message or the product. It's nothing related to flying or the message doesn't have any connection to time or eating, in fact. So it would be nice if the line somehow linked up all these elements. So somehow link up flying and time and the companion offer could be possible, I assume.